Aloha. Just wanted to do a quick little review. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be quick or not. I just wanted to just go over the Glass movie, like actual go over like review it. Um, Before I go there, in reference to the last video I just uploaded with the Nick Fury algorithm, uh, the Glass. Mr. Glass Decoded, or yeah, that whole video. I initially uploaded it with the video that you're looking at right now on the screen in there, but this video that you're looking at that's on YouTube got blocked. This is the reason why it got blocked around the world or all countries. Um, I just thought it was kind of funny that it's on YouTube on this channel, which is just a video game channel. But who knows? That video game channel could be owned by the people who make Mr. Glass, or they could have gotten the rights to put it on there. I don't know. I just thought it was funny because that whole video got blocked just because of this clip in there. So even though it's the same thing, like they show the whole clip in this one. Anyway, besides the point, I said a little nitpicky stuff. The Glass movie is actually, so spoiler alert before I go any further, the Glass movie is a part of a trilogy. I haven't even seen Split or Unbreakable. I actually kind of liked that I hadn't seen Split and Unbreakable, because now I can go back. Now they're going to be new to me, and I can go back and, see it with a deeper eye now. Excuse me. And really start to piece it all together from a more analytical perspective rather than just an entertainment or slightly, deeper perspective just from regular. But now all these pieces are there. It's easy to see something. Anyway, so this is the origin story to those other films. And what it is Mr. Glass is a guy who, in the movie, they say I don't even want to review the whole damn movie. It's just, it doesn't even matter really. The premise is the government or whatever kind of group of people that represents like secret societies or secret groups or some stuff like that is attacking the masses of people, and they're superheroes amongst the people that the government and the system is trying to snuff out. It's pretty much trying to find people and then have them fight each other. So that's basically the whole movie right there. And these the three people that they have on the characters: Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and shit, who's the other person? Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and who the other dude is? The Split dude. He's got all the multiple personalities. He represents the beast. Mr. Glass represents the mind, the psyche, and then was it the body, mind, and the soul? Who's the other one? Bruce Willis's character. Yeah, he just does good things. He's like real cool and like just takes care of his community, and so you got the soul, the mind, and body. That's pretty much it. They're just fucking bastardized version of it through Hollywood. They just squeeze all the actual essence out of it and shit out a movie like Glass and all of, what is that, Wrinkle in Time and all those other things. It's cheap magic, as entertaining as it might be, which Glass was actually. It was one of the most entertaining films I've seen in a while, because it was interesting and also to be able to piece it together with all the other things. But beyond that, it was more interesting to me, more so because of how I break it down. Like I'm not like saying anybody else is going to be interested when they watch this movie. But from an analytical perspective, like it's pretty complex. So I did the best I could in my own style of breaking it down without even saying anything or without even using much of the information. But it goes directly, if you go watch this movie, this is part of it. So I'm not like saying, I'm not like promoting the movie or anything. I'm just saying, like, if you go watch the movie, you'll understand a more complex version of, like, you can come back and watch the breakdown that I did with all those other Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, Glass, Decoded stuff, like all the little stuff that's in there. Like I had to watch it over and over and over again because it's very layered in many different ways. Like it's extreme. It's like I'm playing around now. Like I'm getting to that space to where I'm like playing around with the styles of information exchange and language and how just editing styles and stuff like that. So if you watch it like 2 or 3 more times, you'll see more. You'll see something else that you probably missed. But definitely, if you watch the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because, like I said, I hadn't even known that there was an M. Night Shyamalan universe. I didn't even know that there was like a superhero universe until now. And Glass is, I'm pretty sure, is the origin story, and then there's Split and Unbreakable, but I hadn't seen the timelines or how that's all pieced together yet, so I don't know exactly like where those ones fit in. But so yeah, there's an establishment type group of people that is played by the police officers, the government, the lady in red. Actually, she's the representation, whatever her name is, the lady who's in charge of the team that's supposed to gather up these superheroes. So they pretty much entrap them. So they have all this stuff going on, and then they catch these superheroes that have different powers, and they contain them in a little in a so-called medical facility that is in a room that's designed to counteract their powers, or that's designed to like hurt them in a way that will stop them from being able to use their powers. So there's the Beast guy, and then who kidnapped these 4 cheerleaders, like high school girls, and then there's the Good Samaritan, Bruce Willis, who's just walking around the street. They just happen to be in the same area, and Bruce Willis ends up looking for the girls, finds the Beast. His superpower is that he touches anybody he touches, he can see like areas or feel and interpret areas or what he's looking for from a feeling. That's one of his powers. He's also got a super strength. The Beast has all these different personalities, and one of them is beyond human strength into this beastly sort of Hulk sort of nature. And they call themselves the Horde. So it's a team of people in one. So it's basically the Avengers. So the Split dude or the Beast is the Avengers, and the Avengers, they also represent the physical body consciousness in the Marvel universe. So same kind of mentality. This is all to control your mind. This is all to control your mind, the bridge between the body and the soul. So, and then all of those get shut down inherently when you're mind controlled and limited by the storylines that are given to you by these mind controllers. So you have the beast, you have all those represent. That's what the beast represents. Then you have, it represents like so-called humanity, like the scientific humanity or whatever. Anyway, and then you have the Good Samaritan. So that's he represents like the heart or the soul, and then he was almost drowned, so that was his. So people can see that whole thing in connection, that start breaking down glass and that whole dome thing, and this whole being related to realities. Also, this is not going to be, so you can see as I'm starting to layer videos, you have to understand that, and that Hollywood, something like Hollywood, and this is something like Glass and other movies like this that go into layering like that. They're very intricate. They're very like sharp. Like people underestimate movie production. Each picture is like an image. The image is so deep there that everything is placed for a particular purpose and a reason. Like everything is like a picture in itself. So when they put millions and millions of dollars into this, they are putting millions and millions of dollars for your conscious reality, but they are putting billions and billions of dollars towards manipulating your subconscious reality, because that's where the money gets made. That's where you make slaves. That's why they hide their mind control, or its mind control, behind this very vibrant, conscious, and physical based and entertainment stuff and social media and etc. So soul, mind, body. You got the establishment, which claims in the end of the movie, like I said, spoiler earlier, so this is the end. This is another one. The end of the movie, another warning. At the end of the movie, the establishment says that it goes from town to town. It's designed like they are meant to go stomp out these so-called superheroes by having them fight themselves. And then you have, what else was there? There was another part to the, so they go from town to town, and they claim that they are maintaining balance. That's what they are selling to the people. So you're going to have the sheeple, or the completely mind controlled, who are actually going to say like, yeah, I'm all for that. There, you think of a poll that would go right now. You're going to have the totally mind controlled be like, if there were actual superheroes with all that stuff going on, I would totally be for an establishment that's designed to keep them from going and doing all this stuff. Because they're so locked into that bullshit ass world. That mind control has completely, or virus or parasite has, or you can see it as like possession. Like they have been possessed by an artificial consciousness. And this is what all these universes are. We just think this is entertainment. You're like, oh, the universe. Oh, you talking about flat Earth? You talking about the universe? You talking about so if you talking about mind control with flat or heliocentrism, and then you got now the depths of the reality of the not heliocentric universe. So we're talking about universes. We're talking about consciousness, this physical reality like us, what's going on here, and like universes. So how many other systems out there are actually talking about universes? There's not that many. There's like NASA, the Marvel universes, like the M. Night Shyamalan, like DC universe, all those universes. whatever other universes vibe on universes like that. There's those universes, and then there's like the education system universe, which is the same as NASA universe. That whole thing. So you have not you get pretty much a concentrated version of universe creators out there. So, step up to those universe creators over there and get your shit together and fucking break that shit down. Because this ain't flat versus globe. Get your fucking shit together and start interpreting the fucking universe. Because they are out there trying, or whatever you want to call it, is out there creating universes for your fucking children. That's what these superhero movies are for. There is an attack on the consciousness of your child every single day. And they're getting better at it. Beyond this, and I'm glad I remember this, because before, what's also, and I've always mentioned this when I talk about movies, before the previews are actually a part of the movie. So look at all I wish I had a list. I had a list of all the movies that were playing during the glass, the previews. Anyway, the whole thing is basically this. The previews are designed to calibrate you for the mind control that you're getting ready to watch, which is your feature presentation. The previews are designed to pre-calibrate you. Pre-calibrate your mind for the upcoming mind control. So when we don't see this, you're watching 10 minutes worth? So you're watching 5, 6, 7 sometimes whole movies. You're getting flashed with images of 5 or 6 to 7 whole movies before your movie even starts. You think the system or that is not going to use those blips of moments in time to control you? You think it's not going to be complex enough to put it in some kind of order? You think it's not going to be complex enough to design and time the releasing of these movies to be based upon the political times of what's happening on the local level and on state level and on the national level and based upon international events and tie in so-called conspiracy theories and the false flags and then the war stuff with the military-industrial complex, your so-called conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones, late night talk shows. This is all one web. This is all one language. Everything. So what makes this movie in particular easy to, or a good example in reference to that, is because when you watch the movie, you'll understand that that's what Samuel Jackson's character as a whole represents. He is the mastermind. He is the mind that is aware of everything. So anything that's happening in that world, he is the mind that system is trying to, work around or whatever. And then the beast is, he's beyond that whole realm. And then you have the heart and the soul that is also physically equal to the beast, superpowers. So he has beastly powers in a sense, and he has the heart and souls. Probably has the beastly power, or he probably has the heart and soul in this realm from first going through the beastly experience. So first there, and then achieving the depths of a heart and soul kind of superhero consciousness, then taking that even further to complex the minds of universe creation. Like I said, you got to think from the perspective of a so-called God or an expression of the Most High. We're talking about universe creators. not people or entities or beings who are subjected to universes. Because if you are still just doing like reviews and, you know, talking about this, just like flat versus globe, you are still subjecting you're still stuck in a particular universe, and that universe is it's the gods of the universe of flat versus globe are. The gods of the universe of flat versus globe are the institutions that maintain authority within that universe. So the individuals who allow the authority to continue to grow are the ones that are empowering those so-called gods and kings. So when you continue to wait around for the system to acknowledge your movement or your whatever it is, then you are in a consciousness that's waiting for a god to give you some kind of authority, some kind of orders to move. That's basically what all of these truther communities and all this other stuff, really, when it boils to, when it jumbles together like that, it's to learn. And then the side effect is that people get trapped, and they trap themselves because they get comfortable. But all of these are learning experiences to expand and move into the next realm. Just like you go from learning the experiences of the body, and then the mind, and then the soul. Just like going from the local to the state and then the international. But in consciousness perspectives, there's experiential layers that we go through. A lot of the Mayan pyramid layers of consciousness goes through this. I've shared information on that before. You can check that out. Early videos. But the step pyramids at like Teotihuacan, I think it's not Teotihuacan, in Mexico, because Teotihuacan is like the sun and the moon pyramid. But there's step pyramids all over the place. But specifically in the Mayan areas, there's a step pyramid, and the breakdowns are based upon layers of consciousness and breaking down time and so on and so forth. So this Hollywood version of that is basically like McDonald's would be to organic, like the original food. Hollywood's interpretation of what's going on in this realm is equivalent to like a McDonald's version of the original food, or the original air, or the original water, or the original the original soul codes, like everything, like the origins of all of this. So really start going into empowering yourself from the perspective of beyond the universes that are created to enslave you. Because the Marvel universe, DC universe, M. Night Shyamalan universe, NASA universe, public education system universe, like that, all those universes are designed literally to imprison your consciousness, to keep it vibrating at a certain frequency that maintains an enslavement code. If you keep activating that enslavement code every time you wake up in the morning, like turning that motor on and you know, letting it warm up, and then driving that enslavement vehicle around, nothing's really going to change. So until we start coming from the perspective of analyzing these universes rather than being subjected to these universes, or being like kissing these fucking universes asses, like all these the convention type mentality of flat earth, of like, oh, pay attention to us, mainstream. Who gives a fuck about the mainstream media? Like, it doesn't, they are the fucking problem. Now, that's not to say that there's not a benefit in using like the outlets for sharing the info. I'm not saying that people shouldn't do whatever it is they're doing. Do what you're going to do. What I'm saying is that for the people who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, if you're going to go about what we're talking about on this, come from the perspective, if you can understand what I'm talking about and understand and overstand, come from the perspective of these universes. That, okay, and these are like attack worthy perspectives. These universes. Oops, I didn't want to say that. No. What the hell did I do? These universes. We have to start... I'll change that shit later. We have to start attacking these universes because the system is getting ready to gear up another interpretation of, like a new age interpretation of the universe. You have to understand, if the system is aware that heliocentrism is crashing, you don't think they're gonna have a replacement for that? You don't think they're gonna have a heliocentric replacement plan? You think they got insurance for when heliocentrism, the crashing of heliocentrism comes crawling down? And they're already what is it? Killing the black dude in the movie. He's the first one who dies in the movie with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's the first one to get taken out with all the whatever the shit's going down with his personal life. So it's just imploding one by one. Bill Nye been taken down. He's getting taken down by regular ass news anchors. The Bill Nye is just cheap. He's like some old he's like a wild card, like that made it too far. And then he has no legs to stand on. Really, the only legs that he's standing on right now are the artificial legs in the subconscious of like the millennials who are still like looking up to him like fucking Mr. Rogers. He's like the Mr. Rogers of another generation. And he includes the love and adornment, or the love and cherishing of like the science religion, or the fake like the scientism religion. So he's like that father figure, that subconscious father figure, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Like that feels a certain way. Like when I hear that, instantaneous 7th grade. I remember the name, my teacher's name, I think her name was Miss Franklin or Mrs. Franklin. She was like some kind of science teacher, and it was like Fridays, I think, or whatever day I had. I think it was 7th or 8th grade. 7th grade? Whatever it was. That was when I think that was when I was introduced to Bill Nye. Or maybe I had seen it on TV like at that same year, and then that next year when school started, it was like boom, Bill Nye's in the class on like a good time, and it's all about science. Like, so it's like Friday, it's nice outside, we might be getting out early or something like that. Like, you know, this shit feels real good, and then boom, they insert that Bill Nye the Science Guy video in there, and then you're just like hypnotized, and it just sinks deep. So like Bill Nye. So anyway, everything in the system represents that same kind of mentality, or that same kind of frequency in our coding. So I think this video might be cutting off, but I think I said enough in this. Hopefully it didn't cut off yet. Yeah, check out. I would recommend checking it out if you know, don't allow yourself, like if you're cool with seeing movies and not, you know, you're not really gonna be broken down too much. Some people are really sensitive. There was a time when I was very sensitive, and then I to, you know, even being considering like movies and stuff like that. But me personally, like I'm a different kind of thing in reference to movies and stuff, because I use this stuff as like part of the art and breaking down and sharing and stuff like that. So the entertainment value of it and is like the smallest of percentage there. Like I sometimes have to force myself to see a lot of this stuff just to see like what codes are being shared at certain times, because like I said, every single part of like the weaponization of every single part of our reality is very important. So certain release dates, times, and all that stuff, and those are codes. So scripts, you have casting of characters, like casting spells, casting characters, casting scripts onto the masses of people on certain times. That's a political thing. That's like political consciousness, playing with time and information and coding of universes of the like the people who are aware of what's going on. That is like political consciousness, mind, like manipulation, political consciousness manipulation, political consciousness manipulation. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Check this movie out if you know if you want to add something more. I didn't give away the complete, like, pretty much most of the movie, but there's seeing the whole thing as one movie is a different story when you start piecing things together. And like I said, this is, oh, I did forget something. Wait a second. So the idea, like I said, of the soul, the mind, and the body is very similar to the perspectives that I shared with the compilation of Dr. Delbert Blair with the dead, the living, and the gods. So it's very much the same thing, because the system in here in this universe, in this M. Night Shyamalan universe, it's the same thing in the Marvel universe too. But specifically in this one, it's obvious, because you have the establishment, the lady in red representing the establishment, and then with these secret societies that are right out in public, like in coffee shops, which is another part of it. And they just meet up right out in public, closed off. It gets silent and all weird, and she starts talking about, like, we're moving from city to city. She's trying to get this started up to keep these superheroes from, you know, or to pull them out. That's why she moves from city to city, to pull them out, to kill them, because, like she said, in there they're trying to maintain balance. They think in their you know, broken sort of interpretations of reality, they're maintaining balance in some kind of way by parasiting off of everything, even including the experience of the land itself, the conscious, the beings itself. So it's like a parasite, the consciousness of a parasite, staying alive, hopefully, just so it can off the host. So anyway, the host in this realm are the godly beings, the beings who have been convinced into the dead, the beings who have been convinced into the living dead, and the beings who have been convinced into the so-called human living dead experience. So that's the whole question of what the fuck is a human? Like, what is that? So we just throw that around just the same way we throw around the earth is a globe. Duh. It's the same thing. I'm a human. Duh. So that's what I'm saying is the next step. That's the universe. That's when you start getting into the perspective of breaking down these universe manipulators. These are universe manipulators. So you'll see it in the movie of Glass. They try to sell it in a way, so this is the other side of it. They try to sell it in a way that makes you think that Hollywood itself, like I said with the Jason Bourne movies, they try to make you think that good guys are in the system. So like Samuel L. Jackson with his universe, Samuel L. Jackson's career is his universe. So he represents like a good guy in the system, the same way like Killer Mike represents a good guy in the system, and then like Owen Benjamin is representing to some people like a good guy who broke away from the system. So Samuel L. Jackson is like playing a separate character, like a Mr. Glass character out in real life, of revealing a lot of this information kind of like from the mastermind perspective. And then they're kind of like grand finale extravaganza, I'm thinking is going to come in like the 2020 time frame. So this is what everything is gearing up for. The Glass movie is probably going to get some kind of accolades. Is that the word? Accolades in the Oscars, because this is the Oscar time right now, December to January. I don't know if Glass made the cut, but I'm pretty sure it did, because I think it is December, January is the cutoff line. That's when they release all the Oscar nom movies. So they'll probably talk about that and then sell it back to the people from the New Age perspective, like I've been talking about before. That's the way the Samuel L. Jackson universe or Nick Fury universe was kind of like edited and broken down. Let me stop this right there. Oh no, I can keep going. It's almost done. So, yeah, good guys in the system. Jason Bourne does that too. So like the FBI, they try to say like, oh, there's some good guys in the system to make you think, to make you maintain the system, to make you think like the system's worth like keeping afloat and fixing. But this system was never designed to work for the people. It was designed to do exactly what it's doing now, to, you know, parasite off of the people, and it's trying to stay alive through the powers that they have left over. Hollywood is still left over. The mainstream media is still left over. It's being taken down slowly but surely. It's eating itself, but it's still, those things are time stealers. So overall, if those kinds of alchemy maintain more consciousness through stealing time over, like throughout the people who pay into that shit, like consciously and unconsciously and subconsciously, like that that's why I don't even want to tell people to go even watch the movie, because on some layer it does kind of matter. But at the same time, for people who are breaking down stuff, you know who you are, I would say, you know, if it seems kind of interesting to you, this would be one to go check out. I mean, that's how, when I initially saw it, it was an establishment designed to hunt down and make superheroes, hidden superheroes, fight themselves. You know, what's going on in that storyline. So that's pretty much, I think that's it. So let's see. The origin story, the mind, it breaks it down. His body is actually made of glass. That's why he's called Mr. Or his bones. Like if he dropped like a flashlight on his legs will break. Yeah, like so. You could see that as kind of like, I mean, I take it to the extremes when I break a lot of this stuff down. So if I'm going into the complexities of how stuff is, going into like realm stuff, so like realm, the glass representing like he's the body, so he's the body of this realm. So that he just represents the same people like everybody else, is the so-called superheroes. So you got to think, like when they talk about superheroes, they're talking about like the new age Oprah superhero perspective that's prepping you for this cryon channeling, merging with United Nations, Leonardo DiCaprio, Hermione Granger, you know, a Hollywood activist coming together, save the planet, New World Order bullshit. So and once they start going, and by that time, add another year to the talks of flat Earth right now, they're going to be talking about the at least the so-called firmament. It's in the Bible. You know, they eventually on the mainstream media, when it starts talking about flat Earth, they're going to start talking about it from the perspective of the Bible, because they already did it in the flat Earth community, but from the perspective of the mainstream media and the good old American way, they're going to sell the flat Earth to the people from the mainstream media with the lubrication of that Bible and that Christianity and that whole thing. So they're going to come from the perspective of the firmament and do all that other stuff, break it down from the New Age perspective. They start talking about elements, earth, fire, water. You know, as they're going to, and then what's the firmament made of? They can spend a whole year on that and studying the firmament, and then sending rockets up there the same way the flat earthers. And now we have professional mainstream rockets to send up to go discover what's going on. The new frontier now is the firmament. So Samuel L. Jackson will be sitting in the background talking about, you know, I've been breaking this stuff down, you know, deep. You know, so this will be 2 years, 3 years down the road. And then Samuel L. Jackson be sitting in the background talking about, like, you know, I've been telling you, Negroes. Negro. Y'all ain't been listening. He always say that shit. So, yeah, his body, his bones are made of glass. So, you know, I just take it that he represents a superhero. So the consciousness, he's the mind, the glass, the body, so-called black people, origin stories. I mean, you can piece all this stuff together on your own. I'm just loosely throwing it out there. You can layer it hard how you want. This is just all that stuff that was pinging when I was watching this movie and how I'm seeing it right now. So he's stuck in a wheelchair. He can't move. Like he's he's still a slave. He's the smartest. He has the most capability. He's the strongest one out of all of them. Pretty much, he can control all of them. He beat all of them. So he is that. But the thing is, he's limited to like that body, that fragile. He can't even move. So his so-called black body is paralyzed. Basically, he's stuck to a chair. He's stuck to a wheel. The wheel of time chair. The wheel of time that is this realm that he's been. Going back and forth in different kind of, I don't know. I don't really go too much into it, but yeah. So the glass, the bones, the realm, the superheroes, heroes, obviously going back, well, not obviously, but and then so-called black people. So the original superhero is not Superman like they're playing it in here. The original superhero. It comes from the actual name hero or Heru, or super Heru. So this comes from that whole Horus storyline triggering and all that. This is what the whole superhero story is. So like I said, the actual storyline, the actual origin storyline of what's going on can be seen as like our organic storyline. That's the real stuff, not the bastardized stuff. What's being sold, so like I said, even if it goes as deep as like what I just said, it's still going to be a McDonald's version of it. It's still going to be Hollywood trying to protect itself through protecting the establishment. That's what this whole thing represents. All of Hollywood, all these movies. And people are going to sit in this movie and fucking cry. They're going to be like, oh, they're sitting like in those, in like Captain Okay, so like even with those other movies, I'm trying to remember. There was a Valentine's Day movie that was dealing with zombies and shit like that. That was a trailer before this. There was another one dealing with time and time travel or something like that. There was another one dealing with aliens. And so basically all the new age coding, the love story, and then aliens, and then time, specifically time, messing with time. And then they ended the trailers right before, I'm glad I remember this, right before they started the movie. They ended the trailer with a thriller, like a scary version. And then, so they anchored all of that stuff, and I think one of them was a cartoon. No, maybe I don't know. But anyway, they ended with dealing with kind of like, oh, that's what it was, multiple personality stuff. So a thriller movie based upon multiple personalities. So this is like a scary movie. And so this is going into the realms and the breaking downs. I hope the video is still recording. Usually when it's not playing anything, it does. So, what the hell is it? Dimensions, realms, time, multiple lifetimes. Okay, so there was another Disney sort of wrinkle in time perspective movie talking about time. Lifetimes. That's what it is. Multiple lifetimes is another like new age agenda sort of time interpretation thing. So you got to include CERN and all this. This is all going to be included in the storyline or the next mind control. So what was I saying? Yeah, this whole Tony Robbins, Eckhart Tolle, Oprah, Super Soul Sunday, New Age agenda movement. A lot of it, like a big chunk of it, is like a big chunk of glue in that movement is this unified perspective of through kind of like anchored in the real, like the Hindu and all like other perspectives of reincarnation and so on and so forth. But the like this fake cheap McDonald's drive-through version of that to be sold to the masses of people as a new religion, a new belief system, a new God, new realm, new time, new all this other stuff. A lot of that, like I said, the big chunk of that glue, like a big glue stick in that school box, is people really coming from the space of, I used to be like in a previous life, I was you know, in the Pleiades, or I was in Egypt, or I was a shaman in you know, Mexico, or I was, you know, I was over here, I was doing all this stuff. So, and like I was saying in a lot of previous videos, breaking down the New Age mentality, is that it's just another belief system, just to, you know, fill yourself with some kind of something, because largely you just escaped a universe of nothing. So that's what's happening, is people are escaping the world of nothing, like politics, the mind control. And in that limbo transition world, there are like catch groups, like snake oil salesmen in the, like the intermediate dimension between, you know, going from any realm, from the dead to the living, and the living to the gods, and so on and so forth. Like that whole space, there's parasites in that transition point that just snatch, you know, beings or energies out, you know, as they go on through their own little cheap ass magic, whatever they can, with their little in-between realms. And they catch people in those in-between realms with their little hooks. The New Age agenda is like an in-between realm like that. Alex Jones, that whole conspiracy space, it's an in-between realm. It's just an information realm. But it's not really based upon, like, it's just a space to lubricate the next mind control of whatever that's going to be, something else. So, oh, I really hope the video is still going right now. So, universes, time, lifetimes. So yeah, that's the cycle of time. So one of the main things is that the New Age agenda is really trying to do is make this place, the new age is supposed to make this place like the utopia, like human utopia. So once flat earth gets adopted, that's going to be part of like making this place like, this has been, just imagine the flat earth community gone mainstream. It's like, oh, this is the same thing that happened. Like, we found our creator through finding the complexities of this realm. It's not a nothingness universe that was shot out of the Big Bang. We have a meaning and a purpose. And then they'll just stop there and then say we should just move on and not study any of the ancestors or anything's done, because they have to just keep going. Oh no, we need to, because the system has to maintain what it's already like had people worshiping to maintain control. So that in order to do that, they have to keep people from going as deep into the roots as they can. These movies and these fake universes are meant to do that. And keep people, this is why I get so much flack on my channel. People attack me when I bring up all the healing that needs to be done with the leftover residue from racism, white supremacy, and so on and so forth. That's not even like residue. It's still very active and live. But for people who are sensitive to thinking, like, oh, who think that, you know, racism and all that, white supremacy doesn't exist anymore. Take a look at the White House, the name of the White House, people, the whole thing. People don't think that that's not something that needs to be addressed and healed. You know, step to the side. I'm not talking to you right now. Like, this whole, that's like another in-between trap. You know, that's like Owen Benjamin plays in that realm too. So people who are playing around in that whole Owen Benjamin game right now, take a listen to how he's. I haven't gotten into breaking it down yet, but I'm keeping my eye on it. How he's throwing that N-word out there around so lackadaisy. But for the people who are, you know, waiting for me to say something about it, just know that I'm paying attention to it. The thing is, it doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like a genuine individual to begin with. But the thing is, like, that makes me think about him using the N-word so loosely like that, especially in this time frame right now, what's going on, and being so adolescent minded, so childish, instead of, you know, he's playing like a child would if he had an adolescent child, had a bunch of fame, and then started doing a YouTube. You know, that's what he looks like. And that's what he sounds like when he's talking to the chat. You're banned for life. Like, that whole thing is like a fucking kid. So his use of that word, it just seems forced. Like he's trying to look a certain way, or do a certain thing, and it seems so forced that it might be even like a baited hook. So I don't even, he's not even worth it. So I don't even, you know, I'm just watching it to see what happens. But he's not even worth even trying to break and trying to even go into that, because it seems like he wants somebody to go at him for that. So because once you get trapped in that linguistic sort of moral sort of usage, now you're in his universe. So you can see that as what that bait and hook might be attacked. might be connected to, which is baiting people into that discussion to talk about language and missing the whole point, or whatever perspective he wants to talk about from, you know, from that bait and hook. But the main thing is missing the point of the reasons why, like the origin stories of white supremacy. We're talking about the origin stories of these universes. We ain't talking about the origin. And when we're talking about universes, let's go into the white supremacy universe. Let's talk about the white supremacy, the origin story of the white supremacy universe, and eugenics and colonialism, and, you know, so on and so forth. You know, just for, you know, example purposes, for people who still having difficulty for me even mentioning those terms, because I still you know, can feel it around. It's weird, but anyway, yeah, that's I'm kind of tired now, so hopefully the video is still running and I don't have to do anything more with this, but just upload it. So thank you for joining me. Thanks again for all the support. And until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.